The misconception out there is everything goes in a computer. Don't print them, and that's the worst thing you really can do for a number of reasons. Okay, one, you put them in a computer, you're going to forget. You're absolutely going to forget after a while because you're not going to go every day looking at them. Okay, and two, eventually that computer is going to be replaced if it doesn't burn out for some reason. Okay, and three, you're going to forget. Okay, so I always tell people, treat the cards like a roll of film. Go to a function, the next day, go to the lab, and print it. Have them print it. It's as simple as that. And it's basically getting into that type of a system, getting yourself, disciplining yourself to do that. You know? Yes?
I think the person with the 20 or 30 cards maybe didn't realize that they were reusable.
Correct. A lot of people don't.
The film isn't reusable.
Correct.
The card is different than film because it's not reusable. I mean, the card is reusable.
Correct.
And you also said that the cards don't come like film with different sensitivity to light, like very sensitive to light and not so sensitive to light.
Well, the cards are not sensitive to light at all. And unlike film, certain films you can't go through an X-ray with the film. Well, that's not going to bother the cards. The exposure is made in the camera onto the card. And it's not like you have to buy a roll of film that's a 100 or 200 or 400. It's not, the card is not rated. Your camera is the one that's rated. Does everybody know anything about their camera at all? All right. Do you realize that your camera has settings for film in it? You know that? So do you know that if you go outside, you can actually set your film speed in that camera to 100 ASA when it's nice and bright? Do you do that? Some do, some don't. What about when you go to shoot a picture inside of a house? Do you change that 100 film speed to 400 film speed for indoors?
Does the camera know to do that?
I'm sorry?
Does the camera know to do that?
When you have it on program, it goes haywire. I'm going to get back to you on why they come out blurry, okay? When you put a camera on program, what do you think happens?
It's going to ask you to program it.
No, the camera's already programmed.
The camera's telling you what to do.
The camera has a mind of its own, okay? Do you ever get blurry pictures when you do pictures inside or outside? They're all blurred. They're not really blurred, it's movement, okay? Yellowish indoors, like you ever get yellow blurry pictures, movement pictures? Well, you have it on program. When you have a camera on program, okay, it basically looks at the room that you're in. If it's a dark room and you go to click, it's going to say, oh my God, I don't have any light here. So it's programmed to slow the shutter down. You know what a shutter is? That mirror inside the camera that goes up and down. Okay? So basically what it's saying, I don't have enough light, so I need to slow my shutter down so I can let more light in. What do you think happens when that happens? Right, because first of all, you know, when you take a picture, right, no matter what you do, you can't hold that camera steady, okay? So you are going to move. You know, no matter what, people, when they take pictures, they kind of get into the habit of going like this, okay? And that, you know, now you get that blur, that movement mode, okay? So I always tell people, get to know your camera. You need to find out, first of all, does my camera that I just purchased go manual? If it's only a fully automatic camera that you can't make any adjustments, then you're stuck with what you have. Okay? So in the future, if you buy a point and shoot, you basically need to have one that goes manual or automatic or programmed. That's very important. I'm kind of curious. You said when you shoot sports, you have a DSLR? And, yep. And what do you do? How do you set it? On automatic. Okay, so what kind of lighting situation?
Sunny.
Sunny days? Okay.
Indoors too sometimes.
Okay. Basically, when you put it on program, that's the same thing that is going to happen. It's going to basically give you what it thinks it should be. So I can help you with that after this is over, but I think a couple of different things, it'll help you out. Anybody else having any problems? Come on, you're here, come on.
I just feel like I'm not using all the features on the camera.
Okay, yeah.
Just taking pictures.
What features are you interested in?
I don't know.
Everybody loves taking pictures of flowers, right? Can you do that with your digital camera? Can you get that close in? Very good. That's awesome. You know how many people don't? Okay? They get so close that everything is blurred. Or they don't know how to do that. Okay? Everybody likes taking pictures. Okay, back pictures. Do you get back pictures like these? If so, why? Is that what we're talking about? Okay. What happened here was when they went to take the picture, it read this, and it's dark. So it had to open up the shutter, slow down the shutter, because it needed to let more light in. And that's why this became dark. Okay, here's one at a park. These are kids, okay? And it's dark. And it's programmed, right? And it's basically movement, it's out of focus, and basically it's reading no light. So it's slowed down the shutter again. The way to avoid that is learn how to use your camera on the manual mode. Okay? Do you remember how many people know that their camera goes manual? Okay. And the rest don't know? Okay. 2 pictures, both the same. I basically did that purposely to show you the difference between a poor quality and a good quality. How I got to that was basically I made different changes. I basically took a perfectly good picture and I pretended I was going to email it to a friend. Okay? But if I was to email this to a friend, it's so huge that the email is probably not going to accept it, or it's going to take a very long time for it to go from my email to your email. So a lot of people, they have these little programs that will automatically change a great photo to an email photo. And in a lot of cases, people end up saving the original to that without realizing that they're overriding the picture. So when you go to open it and print it later, you're not going to get this, you're going to get this. Has that ever happened to anybody? I have a lot of customers that that's happened to. Did you understand what I just said? Yeah. Okay. You had a question? Yes.
No, when you asked why we were here, I'm unwilling to let go of my 35mm camera.
And you know what? And that's fine.
Nothing about digital. You find one to buy a 35mm, but I want to learn about the digital.
Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you, and I'm not just saying this because I'm here, but owning a photo store, I may not carry everything, but I can get a lot of cameras. One thing I tell people is, you may want to come to me, and you may want to turn around and ask me a lot of questions, and I'm going to try to steer you in the right direction. I'm going to ask you questions like, for example, do you have any kids? Because if you do, I'm going to say, well, are they playing sports? Or are they going to play sports? What do you want to do with your camera? And then I'm going to try to suggest a couple of them. Once you get the camera, either through me or through somebody else, you're more than welcome to come down and I can help you, work it. So that's not a problem there. And I don't charge for that. So classes I do. Don't be afraid of going digital. It is not as complicated as people make it out to be. Okay? And you don't need a computer to go digital. How many people knew that? Nobody knew that? Okay. Well, you did know, right? Everybody knows that you don't, if you go digital, you don't need a computer. Right? Why is that?
Because it just uses the card.
The card. The pictures are inside the card. And what do you do with that card? What? Yes.
Poor quality, because I think that did happen.
I'm sorry?
How do you avoid saving it to a poor quality?
Okay. If you want to email pictures to a friend or relatives, when you have to reduce it to email purposes, it creates a file. Basically, it takes this and it makes it smaller. If you have to save it, you know, where it says, you know, save as, you can create the same name and maybe add a 1 afterwards. This will stay the same, and you will have this. And that's what you want to email. I always tell people this. There's 2 things that you should do. One or the other. When you go to an event, park, wedding, anything you take pictures of, the first thing you should do is this. Think about, do I want to get them printed or not? And I hope it's yes. So you go, if you are computer savvy and you like doing this, the first thing you do is you go to your computer, if you do that already, okay? Burn your pictures to a CD or a DVD. That's the first thing you should do. And I recommend 2 CDs. Okay, the same thing. CDs can also get corrupted. Very important to know that. They get scratched. Anything can happen. Okay? And by the way, don't throw them away, because in most cases we can still save them. So if you ever have a problem with a CD, you know, there's probably a way to fix it. Okay? So now you have a CD with all your images. Make sure you can open it. Okay? Now, what do you do with the pictures on the card?
Erase it.
Erase it. How do you erase it?
In your camera.
I'm sorry?
In your camera.
Yeah, but how? What do you do?
Reformat. Delete.
Somebody say format?
No.
All right. I love that. This is great. Why do you format?
Well, that erases your card,
Okay.
and it sets up your card to reuse it.
Right. Okay. Format. Anybody ever hear that word, format? Okay. Format. Now, let me just back up a little bit. The reason you format the card is this. Yes, you can delete your pictures. Absolutely. You can stand 1 by 1. If you have 102 pictures, you're going to take a long time to delete them all, right? Okay. Well, kind of silly, but a lot of people do that because they don't know about the format. If you just delete photos, you're really not deleting them. Yes, they are gone from your view, but there's a ghost image of those images that you just deleted. Okay? Now, say you have